Okay, so for my second concept, I chose confirming messages. I picked this because I feel at this point in the project, I'm realizing that communication isn't always about the big conversations. It's a lot about the small ways we show people that they're valued and that we care about what they're saying. So, since my relational partner that I chose is my next door neighbor and one of my best friends, I felt that confirming messages was very relevant. We already have a close relationship. I want to see if being more intentional about it with like affirmation and validation would change anything. And again, it's focusing on the little things this week for me. So, since she already knows about this project and we already went over it with the first concept, which was active listening, we were pretty familiar with how the whole like conversation and introducing the whole concept to her goes. So it felt pretty natural the second time. I felt the first week it felt a little bit forced, and so I tried to ease it in a little bit. And she already knew where I was going, but it still works out because she was kind of like, "So you're just being a good friend." Because I pretty much explained to her that confirming messages is basically showing with nonverbal ways or verbal ways that they're valued and everything they're saying, we're listening. So just again, adding the active listening to it is kind of easy because it's what I focused on last week. And I've been able to like continue that through this week. And then remembering details, validating feelings, or even just showing excitement about the things they say or any emotion for that matter, just depending on what they're saying. For example, this week she was talking about how she was really stressed about school and dance because it takes up a lot of her time. Plus, ACT and junior year, she was just really stressed out with everything. And I just took the moment, like instead of just going straight into problem solving mode, I just said, that makes sense, you're overwhelmed. And I was kind of relating to my situation. I was making it all about myself, but I felt like it was helpful. Um, and I kind of mirrored that energy where I was like, yeah, I get it. It's really stressful. And so I feel like um, we just kind of made it more natural by going off of each other. And she was saying how she just felt a lot better about talking about it. And it just made me realize how powerful like validation can be, honestly, with saying, I get it. And I've been in your shoes before. I'm here if you need me. And I just felt like that was pretty good. I also put the phone down and I was not looking at anything else. I wasn't distracted. I was showing my full attention. Back to the active listening thing, which pretty much ties into every other concept for some reason. One thing I did find surprising though was that it almost felt too simple with confirming messages. Like I didn't see some big transformation, which I was expecting, but instead it was more subtle. The challenge was honestly catching myself when I like slipped into problem solving and fixing mode or making jokes to lighten the mood. I had to just kind of chill down a little bit, and I realized that even in a strong friendship, it's easy to, I guess, unintentionally dismiss feelings by rushing past them and just going straight to the solution. And then another interesting thing was that once I started doing this more intentionally, she started doing it back. So the pattern that I started to notice was that we mirror each other's energy. And I've already said this a few times, but we have really strong emotional, I guess, responsiveness. So we tend to minimize our own stress by bouncing off of each other and I guess saying things that would try to lighten the mood. So then when we kind of went back to the whole concept thing of the confirming messages, she kind of showed it back to me. I noticed that a few days into it. And I feel like once one of us starts doing it, the other starts to mirror that energy. And I feel like there's definitely a pattern of like emotional matching. Like if we want to be serious, we're going to be serious. Or if one of us wants to make the mood a little lighter, like we kind of go back and forth on that. So moving forward, I want to be a little bit more intentional about consistency. So not just using confirming messages, but also in everyday conversations. I could do this with other relationships I have with people, celebrating small wins, acknowledging any effort that's or accomplishments she's made. And I also want to work on pairing these with vulnerability. So I'm not just supporting her, but I'm also just letting myself be supported because I feel like I'm very hard on myself. And I feel like I need some confirming messages too, you know? Um, I feel like with that, it'll balance the friendship a little bit more. And knowing that she can mirror that behavior, I feel like there's already growth with both of us. So overall, this concept, it made me realize that strong relationships aren't just built on history, and it's rather just on the small little things that make this such a good relationship. And just to continue, this is going to be really helpful in how we grow with our interpersonal communication skills. And so that was my concept for this week. Thank you.